Hello, everyone. This is Plini. I'm going on tour with Protest the Hero and I Built the Sky, starting this weekend in Sydney and going through Canberra, Newcastle, Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Perth. Hopefully see you there.
Beautiful, Plini. Thanks for joining us this morning, brother.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, doing well, man.
Good to hear. And so, as you say, man, you're preparing to set off on a 7-date run of shows starting in Sydney on January the 28th. So, firstly, mate, it must be good just to be touring your own country again.
Yeah, it's always fun. This time we're doing more than ever in terms of crew and production. And there's been so many different little moving bits and pieces in the last few weeks. It's been kind of exciting to do something that I've never done before and put on a big tour. Should be really fun. I think almost everything's sorted now, so all we have to do is not ruin the songs.
So you just say like you're excited to do something you've never done before. What do you mean by that, or what's different about this one? That
so for basically every Australian tour I've ever done, I act as the promoter. So I've brought friends from overseas before, like 1 or 2 people, but this is the first time bringing a whole band from another country. And it's the first time we're flying around, but we've got a truck driving around all the backline and lighting equipment. It just kind of, it feels like a real production compared to past tours where we'd kind of get on a plane with a guitar and hope for the best.
cool. And it's going to be the first time Australian audiences have seen you since last year's tour with Northlane, mate. So what's going to be different about the shows this time around?
So my keyboard player Dave from the UK is coming along. So he's playing the whole set. It's a much longer set, playing a couple of songs that we haven't played before. And all the different little bits of improvisation, never really know what's going to happen.
So actually on that point, bro, like how much of the actual stage show is planned to an extent and how much is improvisation?
I mean, the whole set is planned, but there's moments in each song that are improvised. Everyone gets a few solos throughout the set. And then at the very end, we have a big jam, which is kind of totally open to anything happening, which is always fun because sometimes it's terrible and sometimes it's great.
So going on to something like this, mate, like say, like it is your biggest tour you've embarked on so far from a personal point of view and stuff, but how much time do you actually spend going over that hour and a half people see you on stage? How much time actually goes into that?
Well, some of the songs we played in Europe a few months ago, so I got a good bit of practice in from that. And then since then, I try to play a bit of guitar every day. But the last few days has mostly been doing logistical stuff. Probably after I finish talking to you, I'll run through the songs. But another thing I really like is not over preparing, because then when I do get on stage, it's kind of fun because I haven't played the song like 100 times in the last day. It's kind of, I surprise myself.
Yeah. Sure. And on that point, actually, mate, like, because so you're doing lots of things on this, you're organizing a lot of stuff as well as having that time on stage. So you haven't really done it before, mate. Like, do you think it's, in a way, it might mess with your head a little bit, I guess? Like, do you have to switch out from tour manager mode and into performer mode? Like, is it going to be a difficult transition?
We'll see. I don't think so, because I typically just try to enjoy whatever I'm doing. Like if I'm trying to figure out how to book a hotel or book a flight for someone somewhere, even if I have no idea what I'm doing, I try and think of it as like, this is a fun challenge. And it's hilarious to me that I'm doing it at all. And then when it comes to stage, I kind of just try to forget about everything and focus on playing music and having a good time.
Yeah. And you've also, like in the last 12 months or so, man, you've also toured India, Scandinavia, you've done a lot of Europe playing festivals, mate. So what sorts of things personally do you get out of playing in front of a home crowd, I guess, that you might not an international one?
I guess it's really rewarding because I guess it's my home. And I play a style of music that I don't think has ever been particularly popular here, but is constantly growing. So it's less surprising to play to a loving crowd in somewhere like London or New York or Germany, because they have like kind of a culture of going to those sorts of gigs. So the fact that it works in Australia is like, feels really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rewarding.
Cool. So this is one I've never really asked before because I've only just thought of it, man. But like, is there any difference, like from a personal view, like you're playing in front of a home crowd here, like people that know your music and they love it, and then you're playing in front of maybe a festival overseas where not many people have heard you before, like, so you're basically trying to win them over. So do you approach the set any differently playing to people that know and love your music already?
Not particularly. I feel like in writing the music, I've done the best that I can at the time. And then in performing it, I'm going to try and put on the best performance I can, whether someone knows it or not. And then hopefully it connects with them the same way it might if they happen to listen to it on Spotify. And if it doesn't, then it's kind of, oh, well.
I suppose, like you said before too, man, like you can't really think about it too much and analyze it because then it's not as natural a performance and you're probably not giving it your best.
Yeah, exactly.
So you bring in with you Canada's Protest the Hero and Australian band I Built the Sky, mate. So Protest the Hero must really like you, bro. It's a long way from Canada just to come for 7 shows.
Yeah, I've met a few of them over the years and they're all sweethearts. I only found out about a month ago that the guy playing drums for them now is the same person that designed all the tour flyers. He neglected to mention that he now drums for the band when he was doing it. And I saw it on like a list with all their names and passports. And I was like, bro.
You can't keep that secret.
Yeah.
So like on this one, did you also book those bands yourself? Like, did you source them out?
Basically, my booking agent did some of the professional back and forth talking. But I think a lot of, I assume part of the reason they agreed to it is because they like us as artists as well. And most of the tours I've ever done have been kind of based on friendship as well as it seeming like it would be a good tour.
Yeah. But when it comes to choosing bands to go on tour with you like that, though, like, do you look for bands that are strikingly dissimilar, bands that have got some similar elements? Like, is there any sort of structure, I guess?
Yeah, I think similar in some ways, but not too similar that it would be boring. So for this, like, I think there's a good crossover between people that like my music and people that like Protest the Hero, but obviously they're super different because they have a vocalist. We have like crazy guitar playing in common, but they have a singer. And then I Built the Sky is like quite a different flavor of instrumental guitar music to what we do. And some of that, there's like a bit of a punky vibe that crosses over with Protest the Hero. So I feel like you get a bunch of similar things, but a bunch of different things in the one show. So it doesn't get boring, but it also doesn't feel totally like, why is this happening?
Yeah. On that point, mate, like everyone knows that you are an instrumentalist, but is that because you don't like your voice or you haven't got a good voice or because you got no desire to sing yourself?
When I started making music, for some reason, I never thought to include vocals. I just thought of it as like a guitar-driven thing. I definitely don't like the sound of my voice. Definitely not as a singing voice either. I would love to write some stuff with vocalists, but I just kind of haven't gotten around to it yet.
There's enough people here, this, mate. You're probably going to be inundated with requests now saying, write with me, write with me. So about our new music, mate, you got any new music planned to let out on us?
Yeah, over the last couple of years, I slowly put together an EP that I finally finished it sometime at the end of last year. So my bass player, Simon, also mixes all my music. So that's all in his hands now, and he has to get ready for a bunch of different tours while I'm also like, hey, bro, can you mix the EP?
So she might be a while.
Yeah, I think around the middle of the year should be good.
Excellent. And have you played any of those songs in your live set yet?
Not yet.
Not going to spring any out on this run?
No.
Nah. Most people say, oh, maybe, but nah, you're not doing it. Oh, cool. But then this run of shows finishes up in February, man. So what do you got planned for the rest of 2023 and beyond? Much happening?
So after we come back from Perth, we go to New Zealand for a couple of days, come back for a few weeks, and then go to Europe, come back from Europe, and then go to the States. And then the second half of the year was looking more chill, but it seems like it'll probably end up busy as well. So yeah, hopefully release new music around the middle of the year, and then a bunch more cool stuff.
Wicked. Well, in the meantime, brother, where can people find out more information or get tickets to the tour kicking off on January 28th?
I guess my website, plini.co, or the venue websites.
Too easy, man. All right. Well, thanks very much for your time today. I hope you get some cooler weather as you travel around the country.
Yeah, we'll see. Thank you.
All right, mate. Enjoy yourself.
Cheers. You too.
Thank you. Is Janine coming back?